You chose absolutely right tuning in to Rwanda Television News tonight. Very good evening to you, and many thanks for being with us on our tonight's edition, and we hope you are having yourselves a great end to the year 2023. This is what makes our top stories. The National Child Development Agency urged local administrators to strengthen the implementation of various government initiatives aimed at curbing malnutrition and stunting. Figures of the National Institute of Statistics of Rwanda for the third quarter of 2023 indicate that the country's GDP increased by 7.5%. And in this edition, we'll take you through the major highlights of the country's economy throughout the year that ends just in 4 days. We are very glad to have your company tonight. And as we start off our tonight's edition, the National Child Development Agency, NCDA, urged local administrators in the northern province to strengthen and follow up the implementation of various government initiatives aimed at curbing malnutrition and stunting and stop revealing inaccurate figures. This is as the figures demonstrate that this year the issue reduced by 6.3%. Prince Manzi starts us off tonight.
It was in the discussions between the NCDA and Northern Province local government administrators, health, agriculture and livestock experts. They talk on why the malnutrition and stunting issue is still a burden. People are taken up by work, and even if food is there, they lack time to prepare it, and you find the child eating worse. Figures from the Maternal and Child Health Week this year demonstrate that 28.3% of children under 5 years in the northern province are stunted. The numbers deducted by 6.3% compared to 34.6% demonstrated by 2020 Demographic and Health Survey. The governor of the northern province, Maurice Mugabawagahunde, emphasized that addressing the stunting issue in children is among the priorities. Here are those that we are with in Nyakinama as the head of state visited us. This issue is one of the promises we made to him as to address. Let us work on it wholeheartedly. The Director General of the NCDA, Assumpta Ingabire, reminded the officials that they have the responsibility of following up the implementation of measurements meant to address this issue. The active village cuisine are done once in a month, and these contribute in raising awareness on how to provide a balanced diet, and the figures of this issue are provided accurately. The government aims at having the starting rate reduced to 90% by 2024 from 33% in 2020. Prince Manzi, RwandaTV News.
Thank you, Prince, and we'll transition it to health matters. Patients who have been hospitalized for long periods of time with serious illnesses say that they draw motivation from charitable acts. Some of these patients have been abandoned by their own families. We do have the details with Olive Nete.
Vestine Yankurije, a resident of Gisozi sector in Gasabo district, is a parent with a child undergoing treatment at Muhima Hospital in Nyarugenge district. She shares that her 14-year-old child faced significant health challenges since birth. I was pregnant with twins, and when I was about to give birth, one of the twins was born naturally, and the other was hard. They had to do a C-section for her to be born. But there was a delay, and that led to her current situation. Most of the times, I'm in the hospital like 5 times during the month. Vestine shares that doctors informed her about her child's brain damage, leading to frequent illnesses and a stagnant weight of 10 kilograms. In contrast, her twin is now 38 kilograms, thriving academically and in good health. There's also another parent, Mukanda Isenga Devota, who has a baby girl born with 3.7 kilograms. She developed a severe illness a month after birth. Devota has been caring for her child at Muhima Hospital for 7 months now. I arrived at this hospital on the 13th of May. When we got here, she got into a coma of almost 2 months. They say that she had meningitis. That is why she went into the coma. And when she woke up, she was swollen. She doesn't see well, She doesn't speak nor even cry. Her lower limbs are paralyzed, and she's always like this, lying down on the bed. Mothers caring for children with chronic illnesses frequently experience abandonment from their families and in some cases even from their husbands. People abandoned you, and even my husband abandoned me. He left me when they had 2 years. It's been 12 years living alone and facing this issue alone. You understand that this is not really easy for me. Receiving help from philanthropists who come to the hospital to visit them is one of the things that assist them to continue living. Since then, she had trouble breastfeeding. She only drinks milk, and I get the milk from charitable acts from good people that visits us. They also bring us food to eat and pay for medicines. I thank them and also thank God for enabling them to help us. Bungurubwenge Jean, the head of the Good Samaritan organization, which takes care of patients at Muhima Hospital, points out that their goal is to help others live well.
Good leadership supports the welfare of the residents, and our leadership encourages us to be resilient. And through that, we know that we don't have to wait for outsiders and foreigners to help our people. That is why local people do their best to support those in need, and for helping others, you do not need to have much.
The head of social services at Muhima Hospital, Leontine Uwiragiye, highlights their collaboration with over 20 organizations and individuals dedicated to supporting and ensuring the well-being of patients. For example, there is a mother who abandoned her child here at the hospital while she was 6 months. By then, she had 800 to 900 grams when she abandoned the child at that time. The baby needed fortified milk, and a container of that kind is 21,000 Rwandan francs. But sponsors helped the baby. Now she's 1 kilogram and 600 grams. The social service department at the Muhima Hospital shows that one of the areas where the partners put efforts is actively contributing to covering medical costs for economically disadvantaged patients. Additionally, they assist in covering expenses for individuals unable to afford the services provided by the hospital. Olive Nete, RTV News.
Thank you, Olive, for the report. The World Health Organization, WHO, has placed Rwanda among top six countries globally that implemented laws and measures to reduce road accidents. This was indicated in the 2023 survey carried out in 166 countries regarding road safety. We do have the details.
The World Health Organization indicates that in 2021, approximately 190,000 people succumbed to road accidents around the world, representing a 5% drop from 1,250,000 deaths in 2010. The United Nations has set a target of reducing 50% of deaths from accidents by 2030. Rwanda is among the top 6 countries on the right track to achieving the goal. The government has increased the number of traffic officers who keep encouraging drivers to use reasonable speed. My advice is that instead of facing the consequences, you should take preventive measures and not drive while you're drunk. The WHO report on road safety globally shows that 166 countries have adopted the laws to prevent road accidents, including 48 that have enacted laws that meet the requirements of this organization, including Rwanda. Legal experts say this has brought about desired change.
Iyo ngingo iteganya ko iyo umuntu afashwe atwaye ikinyabiziga gikoresha moteri kandi yanyoye inzoga.
The law states that when a person is caught drunk driving above 0.80 grams per 1 liter of blood, they are subject to imprisonment of between 7 days and 6 months. Article 42 of the same law depicts that the suspect can be fined an amount 6 times the 20,000. That can sum up to 180,000 Rwandan francs. Local medical experts and researchers say the WHO research aligns with that carried out on the same matter in the country.
Big public cars like buses and the trucks, and also motorcycles were the biggest contributors. So we shared our results with the police, and the police really reacted very quickly. They changed the signposts on the roads, they put more police on the roads, and we saw a reduction over time. Now with the new installation of cameras that reduces the speed and speed governors on public transport, it has reduced it tremendously on severity of accidents, but also on the number of accidents in general.
Prior to the COVID-19 pandemic, between 100 and 500 drivers were arrested each night for drunk driving. To date, the number has dropped to between 10 and 12 per day, according to the Rwanda National Police figures. Rwanda National Police spokesperson ACP Boniface Rutikanga agrees with the accuracy of the WHO report.
Iyo urebye uyu munsi ukareba uburyo abantu iyo bageze hahandi abantu abagenda n'amaguru bambukira zebra crossing.
Judging from how our drivers respect zebra crossing spaces, there has been a tremendous mindset shift, something we applaud. Also, respecting speed signs has greatly increased.
Umubare munini w'abantu babyubaha bakabyubahiriza.
The report of the World Health Organization shows that 6 countries, including Rwanda, have taken action on the 5 main causes of road accidents. These include reducing overspeeding, prohibiting drunk driving, wearing seat belts, restraining children from using co-driver's seats, and wearing helmets on motorcycles.
And proceeding with the economic matters, 2023 ends with Rwanda's economy on a consistent spike up. In the compiled report, our colleague Prince Manzi takes us through the major highlights of the country's economy throughout the year that ends just in 4 days.
The year 2023 is ending with Rwanda's economy on a consistency strike. The figures of the National Institute of Statistics of Rwanda for the third quarter of 2023 show that the country's GDP increased by 7.5%. The service sector contributed 46%, agriculture sector contributed 25%, and industrial sector contributed 21%. The issue of high prices in general and of food in particular was one of the most recurring issues in 2023. The good news is that the year is ending with the prices of some of the food reduced. The figures of the National Institute of Statistics of Rwanda demonstrate that the increasing rate of prices in November 2023 was on 9.90%, while in November 2022 was on 23%. The National Bank of Rwanda demonstrates that there is hope that in 2024 the increasing rate of prices will decrease to 6%. This increasing rate of prices resulted in inflation, as in November the inflation rate was 16%.
Nta muturage wishimira kugura ikintu ahenzwe.
No citizen is pleased with buying products on a high rate, and they are also happy if the prices of sweet potatoes and food in general could deduct. Measurements taken to curb the increasing rate of prices include providing subsidy on fertilizers, petroleum products, and decreasing the central bank rate that reached to 7.5% in end 2023. Good news on the price reduction was as the government announced the gasoline price reduction from 1,822 Rwandan francs per litre to 1,639 Rwandan francs, a deduction of 183 Rwandan francs, whereas for diesel price, deducted from 1,662 Rwandan francs to 1,635 Rwandan francs. The 2023-2024 fiscal budget reached to 5 trillion Rwandan francs, which represented an increase of 265 billion Rwandan francs. This is an increase of 6% compared to 4,764.8 billion Rwandan francs presented in 2022-2023 fiscal year. The Minister of Finance and Economic Planning, Dr. Uziel Ndagijimana, demonstrated that 2.9 trillion Rwandan francs are domestic revenues, which represent 59% of the 2023-2024 national budget. New land tax rates were announced in November by the Ministry of Finance and Economic Planning, where it shows a reduction from between 0 Rwandan francs and 300 Rwandan francs to between 0 Rwandan francs and 80 Rwandan francs per square meter. In the financial sector, Equity Group acquired slightly over 90% of Cogebank, and the National Cement Holdings Limited acquired 99.94% of Simerwa. Still in the financial sector, let us inform you that with the aim of mobilizing the private capital to enhance sustainable economic development in Rwanda, the sustainability-linked bonds were introduced on the Rwanda Stock Exchange. The bonds are worth 30 billion Rwanda francs with a duration of 7 years. In the infrastructure sector, in 2023, various roads were constructed. The Rwanda Transport Development Agency demonstrates that they completed are 259.92 kilometers long and are worth 82.8 billion Rwanda francs. Shifting to agriculture, let us inform you that the year is ending with Rwanda having the fertilizer blending plant with the capacity to blend 100,000 tons of fertilizers annually. For increasing the agricultural produce, there was announced the decision of having livestock farmers in eastern provinces districts of Nyagatare, Gatsibo, Kayonza and Kirehe to cultivate grasslands at least by 70%. 2023 also saw Rwanda as an international conference hub, aiming at developing the tourism sector and building a service-based economy. The 23rd World Travel and Tourism Council took place in Rwanda, and it was first of its kind in Africa. In this summit, President Kagame reiterated that Rwanda prioritized conservation and waived visa restrictions for citizens in numerous countries.
Conservation is a big part of our strategy to build a more sustainable future. We are delighted that the Nyungwe National Park is now a World Heritage Site. We're also investing in the infrastructure and skills to host major sporting events such as Basketball Africa League. Globally, the travel and tourism industry has recovered strongly, but the high cost of air travel to Africa and within Africa remains a barrier. Implementation of the single African air transport market is therefore an important priority. We also removed visa restrictions for citizens of every African country, as well as many other countries. Let there be no mistake about it. An African can get on a plane to Rwanda whenever they wish, and will not pay a thing to enter our country.
Still on the tourism sector, this year, the 19th Kwitizina ceremony saw 23 baby gorillas named by celebrities on a global level and conservationists. The Rwanda Development Board demonstrates that in the first 3 quarters of 2023, meaning from January to September, the tourism sector generated $400 million. This means an increase of 35% compared to the previous year. We cannot conclude the eye in Rwanda's economy in 2023 without stating that Rwanda saw a new platinum partner in Visit Rwanda campaign. These are the Bundesliga giants, Bayern Munich.
And that's all from us here at RB's Rwanda Television News. On behalf of the entire news production as well as the technical team, many thanks for being with us. And up until next time, stay safe and continue enjoying the rest of other days to end 2023. Goodbye.